All right, let me run you through the Boonie a little bit. So I've used Spot Hogg for years. I've tinkered with a lot of different sites. Hi, so ABT Labs. So catch up to speed, I've posted 2 videos kind of testing the TAC 225s. Bought them from Spokane Valley Archery. Shout out to Dougie Fresh. And then the DCA mini sabers. Josh Jones likes these a lot. Both of them did really well in the Easton test, and I think my hybrid HPs did okay. My testing for the hybrid HPs is that they steer fixed broadheads when you put a crazy helical on them, 5 degrees, and they spin more than any arrow I've ever had. And I'm not getting parachuting at long distances. So I did see parachuting on these vanes, kind of like 90+ yard shots. At the local archery range, they did really well. They were hitting, I mean, they're awesome. Steering broadheads, I think they all did fine. I did have, I thought the HPs, like just the field point and the broadhead were closer. Second place would be TAC, third place would be DCA mini sabers. So right now, Josh Jones told me to run the black gold dual track, which I have for 2 weeks now. And I wanted to test the Boonie out. And so I'm gonna literally just take this out and put it on ice. It's gonna stay on ice. I do like how skinny the post is. I feel like the second pin is way more usable. And if you're gonna hunt with a 2-pin setup, I feel like that bottom pin's gotta be as far as possible. For me, it's gonna be 50, because I've, like the last 6 elk I've killed have been between 45 and 51 yards. And so I don't wanna have to dial. So that's a plus for this. I do think durability wise, the Boonie is gonna be tough to beat. So I just wanna test it for a couple weeks. So I'm doing that. And then I'm also gonna use my handheld for a couple weeks as well. And that's what that's what we're doing right now. So Kat, you're up to speed, let's go. All right, Silver Sharpie. Just gonna remind myself it's on this indentation right here. We could probably come back to this. The sight tape's perfect for it. We're good to go. This sight tape will not work for the Boonie because the Boonie is a wheel. You can tell that they've made some changes. Let's kind of walk through what you need to know about the Boonie if it's something you're considering. It's been out for a while. I'm just a little late to the party, but better late than never. You can do the pick mount, which will suit some bows. And obviously when you do a pick mount, you're gonna have to worry about the windage a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a second. I went with the bridge lock. You can also just do the dovetail or direct mount. Fits well in the bridge lock, and I ran it as close as I could for compression. I wanna check levels for the rail or the first or whatever you wanna call it, and then the second, and we'll do the third later. If you are a home bow guy and you don't have this Baker, I think you should get it. If your wife says no, don't tell her. Let her find out. Okay, we're level there. Let's put a Hamskea Gen 2 on. Somebody should invent this specific for every site out there. Level, level, not level. And there is adjustment right on this side. I'll get you a close-up. But this is where I started as far as getting the sight level with the bow. And you can put the level here or on the sight, whatever you prefer. And then with these 2 screws, you can basically pivot this a little bit and get the level to match the levels on your string. Start there. Then, like I think all Spot Hoggs, you can also do the same thing or do an additional adjustment with these 2 screws right here. And you can move the sight until it is absolutely square with the bow and the strings. Folks, bubbles down the middle, middle, good to go. Third axis will be these 2 screws here, and this is going to be something you want to do individually, meaning don't have someone else set this up for you, and use a door jamb or with a plumb bob, something like that, and you can just pull back and make sure that your bubble is level. If your bubble isn't quite level at full draw, then you can tighten, loosen. These are opposing threads. And that's a good thing, by the way. So that'll like fight off anything coming loose through like, multiple shots, vibration. and it's pretty easy to adjust. There's a little bigger of a gap here than here, but not much. We'll start there. We'll have to sight this in the course on like a 3D target, downhill, uphill. But we'll start with this, and then once this is set, then we'll check our left and right again. I just took it apart to kind of get to know it real quick. Let's put this on. Okay. Double check our levels. Level, 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 level. Let's go shoot. And for years, I'd always get frustrated because it was opposite of your intuition. So left, move the sight right, right, move the sight left on your windage. Now they have it marked to remind you, and the windage adjustment is best I've ever seen them do. Good job, Spot Hogg. It's real micro vibe, so like a click won't move it too far. Like say you're shooting 80 yards and or 90 yards and you move it a click. It used to move it like an inch. Now I think it's a little less. So more clicks, more adjustment, fine tune, which is great. Now let's talk about windage, because this was a little bit funky and I could have done this wrong, and I know the internet will correct me, but this bracket right here was flipped. So you take this screw out and this piece comes out, and if you flip it over, that's how it came stock. And I ran out of windage because I'm running through the bridge lock. So I unscrewed this and I flipped the block around, which had the sight facing you. That's not good. So I had to loosen this bolt and flip the sight back around. You'll have to mess with it, but it's just like playing a little bit of Legos Tetris with your sight till you figure out what it needs. I didn't have to order any extra parts, which was super nice, and I got it sorted out. Touch low, bring it down just a smidge. I do believe that is 20. First shot's touching the 10 at the bottom, second shot's touching the 10 at the top. Let's shoot one more. I'd like to get right in the middle. Yeah, we're tall, so, and we're a little bit to the right, so loosen your set up top and move the sight to the right. We just knocked a vein off. Damn it. Oh, now I'm out $2. We gotta go that way. Slightly low. 7 o'clock. I like that. That's middle of the middle. That's 20. Okay, we found 20 exact. Took our time. I'm gonna put this on. I will use precision cut if I fall in love with this, but I'm just gonna date this sight. We're shooting pretty fast, so I'm gonna slide down to about, I'm gonna guess we're gonna start at 20 and risk it for the biscuit and shoot 60 and either lose an arrow or be a hero. And then for the sight in tape, I used the one that comes out of the box, and I found 20 and I found 60, and I came back and I grabbed number 29, and it worked pretty good at 20 and 60, but then I exposed it when I shot 90. And so what ended up happening with that sight tape is 90 was more like my 85-yard mark. So I just took that tape off that I used, number 29, laid it on the table with all my other sight tapes. I have long range tapes too, and I found that 33 was more accurate, so I'm gonna go test this sight tape, number 33, and I usually make my own sight tapes with precision cut, but I was just trying to get everything streamlined. But this, okay, folks, we are at 60 yards. I'm guessing 20. I recommend that you do a walk back. Either it's gonna be in the dirt, it's gonna be over. Over would be bad. High we are, but we hit the bell. Praise the Lord. 30. Bold move, Cotton. Ooh. Do we like that height? I think it's a little low. One more. All right, I'm going to move my sight up. I'm going to move my sight to the right. I'm going to put this in next to that hybrid HP. 90 yards to the elk with a sight tape that we think is number 29. Just figured out how to put the dead stop in. I couldn't find a video online, so I might need to like show you guys that. So we're gonna slide down to 90. Oh, we hit home, which is foam. That ain't 90. All right, this ain't the right sight tape. Let's shoot 90 for 86. 86 might be the new 90. Get it to the tension that you want so that it doesn't move, or that it can move barely, or lock it in completely. The thing I need to verify in this sight, which we'll do today, is the distance between the fixed 2 pins. So right now at home with the dead stop at the bottom, I have the top pin at 20 and it looks like the bottom pin's 41. Is it 41? I haven't verified that. I will. If it doesn't match up, I'll order an extra individual pin and I'll just run 2 individual pins. I will probably hunt with this setup with the bottom pin at 50, and it's actually a pretty good sight picture, honestly. I'm dating this sight, and I think the relationship status is getting serious, just because the durability, and that's really my main focus, is something that's super durable and can withstand all the abuse from elk hunting. Now, if you can hear the audio, it is windy and it's cold and miserable. I'm gonna shoot this elk at 50 with my top pin, and then I'm going to use my bottom pin set to 50 and just kind of compare and contrast. I expect a good shot. Okay, as to be expected. How the f did that happen? 50 is good. Okay, when the second pin is set at 50, the top pin is rolling at 32. The retrostat ring, I went with a smaller one and it seemed to fit my 3/16 peep perfectly. Just a little bit of daylight around the circle. The one that comes stock, it came with it. I didn't run it. It's a little too big. This is the sight picture that I liked the most. The other thing I liked about this is that you can take this wheel out. There's 2 screws here and you can pull it out. Maybe you want to order an extra wheel and have 2 different sight tapes for 2 different arrow setups. You could do that. The other thing is you can loosen this and move this to line up your sight tape if that's what you want to do. This is the sight. It's pretty awesome. Let's date it for a while. Let's see if I used the black gold dual track for 2 weeks. Really liked it. I like how skinny the posts are. I don't think it's as durable as a Spot Hogg. Nothing is, but it's up there. I think that the overall diameter of the housing on the dual track is smaller, and so I have a lot of daylight in my sight picture from my peep to my housing. So I like it to be pretty tight, like just a little bit of daylight leaking. This is just a better size for that, so it's good. I like my sight tapes on the inside. This is on the outside. But I think all in all, this could work. We just got to check the double pin situation, because if I'm going to hunt with a 2 pin, it's going to be bottom pin set for 50 and the top pins wherever it's at. And usually with my speeds, it's going to be somewhere around 30 and 50. So my top pin set at 30 and my bottom pin set at 50. And that covers me for those elk scenarios. And then we can dial out past 50. This is the Boonie. I'm super impressed. I'm still getting to know it. I might have left out some features. I do like that it's just a better design than years past. I like that the gearing is not as exposed to the elements as possible, and I think they really hit it out of the park with the toolless windage and the micro clicks, plus everything else you've loved about Spot Hogg, which is a good company, and they're out of the Northwest. Got love from my Oregon boys, and I think we're gonna run with this for a while, and then who knows, if you see it on my bow in a couple months, that means I'm really digging it. Separations in the preparation. Catch you on the next one.